Welcome to Men Are Forged podcast. This is Cartwright Morris, your host. Thanks for listening today. If you are interested in a coaching session with me, please log on to my website, menareforged.com, and you can click on schedule a free call, where if you got any questions actually about my coaching or even my course, you can schedule a call with me, and I'd happy to talk to you 5-10 minutes. Just, anything you'd like to know. So, but yeah, if you are interested in some coaching, life, or professional development, please go to menareforged.com, and you can click on schedule a session under my coaching page, as well as going to calvertandassociates.com and schedule an appointment with me. I do 30-minute virtual sessions, so if you don't live in the city of Birmingham or in the Birmingham area, please look me up there, and I'd love to grab a coaching session with you and see how I can help you grow, learn, and become more the man you're called to be. So anyway, menareforged.com or calvertandassociates.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Now, here's today's episode. All right, well, welcome to the Men Are Forged podcast. Got a episode for y'all today. It's going to be a little different. I kind of like doing these. Love doing the interviews. I know those resonate with y'all a good bit, hearing people's stories. But today I'm just kind of what I am learning from sports. I usually do film or something in my own life, but today I really wanted to just kind of been a constant theme the last month that I've really thought about. And really the NFL season. I'm not a huge, I don't follow NFL a lot, but I do follow it somewhat, being that I am a football fan. So really what, there's two quarterbacks, well, really three, but I kind of want to hit on just two, is what we can learn from them. This season, really Tom Brady and Derek Carr. It's interesting. Brady, why has he been so successful at 44? I think he's almost 45. Man, that's just old. But yet he's coming off a Super Bowl. His team has a winning record. I think they're leading their division. And I think they just lost 2 games in a row, but still doing pretty well. I think there's a lot of reasons. The obvious is he came to a very talented team with a very good defense. That's obviously helpful. Got great receivers, so that's the obvious one, right? The rules of the game. That was a very interesting interview. I don't know if you can go find it, but Tom even said it. Great quote where he said, in the NFL for years, it was always up to the quarterback to protect the receiver. But now it's up to the defender to protect the receiver, which is counterintuitive in the game of football, for 100 years, right? But because of the rules of the game change, he said that's benefited me continuing. But really these last two, here are the two things that I really, you can take with you. I hope you walk away. This is what you should probably apply to your life and what we learned from Tom Brady. Love me some Brady. Old Tommy. He's a good guy. Yeah. That's, wish him all the best, but hey, go Pats. Anyway. So one is the science, health-wise, the ability to study, get information. Probably for him and his wife, they can pay people to really help them do that. But when it comes to longevity, when it comes to enjoying more of your career in life in your 40s, when you feel older, you feel not as strong, not as energized by life, is change your diet. I know that's kind of been a struggle for me recently, is realizing, man, there's just certain things I can't eat or drink at a certain time of day, right? That slow me down. I get less energy, and there's things that I need to consume more of to help me feel more excited about my life, to be at my best, to work harder, more energized, right? So it's just, that's part of life, is adjusting and realize you just can't consume a whole pizza at 9:00 at night and Cokes and beers with it, right? Before you go to bed, you got to maybe have something a little more fiber and nutrition. Broccoli, sweet potatoes has kind of been my go-to of recent. So anyway, health stuff. Yeah. Exercise. You can't even exercise the way you used to. I think that's a big thing Tom's done is he's not really been using weights, learning to use different things and finding what works best for you, what keeps you moving. Because, the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. I think that's very even true as you get in your 30s and 40s, you start realizing that. So that's kind of one, but that's not as big as this fourth and last point I'm trying to make. And it's really number 2 for you to walk away with is really a change of scenery. What a change of scenery it does. He was at one place for 20 years, working the same system under the same coach, had the same boss. I'm sure front office coordinators. I think he'd been the same coordinator for 10 years, maybe less. Josh McDaniels. I can't remember how long after he got fired for the Broncos came on, but he was. Josh Daniels before that, so he's known him for probably 15 years. So it's just sometimes is like in no disrespect to those people, but I think a change of scenery always helps men. People in general, like when it comes to our jobs and roles, like we just need to be in a new space, think differently, being around new people. And just feel more excitement about what we're doing. That sometimes when we're in the same spot, even though there's safety, security in being in the same spot. I mean, like Tom, I'm sure he could have taken a huge pay cut and stayed with the Patriots and had everything he knew right in front of him, right? But there was something new on the other side of insecurity, of the risk of changing jobs, changing places that, you could have, that there's a level of trying to think what the wording is here, but really there's 2 things that happens when we have the newness of something, the positive of newness. There's energy around it, right? And there's excitement on the other end. There's like an energy where I feel a level of not the mundane, the everyday. There's a newness, so therefore there's more energy. The excitement, I think human beings, we thrive on a level of the potential, what could be. And when we know everything in front of us, we don't have that. And so the energy. But what comes with the newness is the fear, right? The fear of failure, the fear of what's to come. Fear of, will I get along with everybody? Will my personality rub people the wrong way? Will they understand where I'm coming from? I think that's probably a big thing that fear, with me, like, will people get me? Will I be misunderstood and therefore feel like an outlier in the midst of a group of people, especially in the context of sports, right? Team sports. But I think what happens with the energy and fear, if you really lean into it, comes this creativity side where I think human beings, we miss on the value of being able to think creatively, develop creatively as a team with others, building, thinking, that newness, that change of scenery. And I think that's what Tom was probably really helped him, was just being around a new set of coaches, a new set of teammates, outside of Gronk, of course, and really just being able to use his brain probably in a different way and probably had more input than he probably did at the Patriots because he had been there for so long that there was still a lot of the, Belichick and the coach's lens of this guy was, though a veteran, though he, won several Super Bowls for you, he was still that, guy that came in as a 6th rounder and really, did what he was told, did what he needed to do the first few years. And then really as he blossomed and growed, you gave him more, but you never really let him fully be himself. And I think that's what a change of scenery does when you're valued for who you are and your skills. That change of scenery brought in a new place, even if there's a pay cut, even if it is new and there's a lot of fear, is leaning on the potential and then your creative brain. I think that's when we change the scenery. We need to think about that when we have the value in that we get to actually use our brain in a larger, holistic, bigger space, and getting to use that is just so invaluable to who we are and our personal growth and our professional growth. And so I think all of us need to really lean into that. And some of us, like when we feel that mundane, we're valuing security way over than we need to. Security, I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I think if it's the only thing, it's the main thing that's keeping you somewhere, then that's when you need to change the scenery. So anyway, I just really kind of kept thinking about that when it comes to Tom Brady and his success, even though I think they're coming off a 2-game losing streak, playing tonight on Monday Night Football against the New York Football Giants. Yeah. Anyway, not that I'm sponsoring ESPN or Monday Night Football. Anyway, but if they want to, they can throw it my way. I'm happy to take that sponsorship. Mooner Forge podcast, just throwing it out there. ESPN, if you want a little, throw a little my way. Happy to promote your Monday Night Football games. Anyway, yeah, I know. Within the second quarterback, the Aaron Rodgers thing is interesting, especially it was a few months ago. That Aaron, I'll just mention briefly because I did say 3, but really 2. But the third one that was Aaron Rodgers is early. I think no matter how much success in a company or organization you've been, you want to feel appreciated. And, does his feeling de-appreciated at the Green Bay Packers merit his behavior? I don't think so, but at the same time, I think there's something to that. And really, I think everybody who has ever been in a job, he plays sports, he plays a football game, and you're kind of like, quit crying, quit bitching, to put it mildly. But yeah, I think there is something to be said about Aaron Rodgers when you've been in a place for that long that you want to feel like your efforts have been accounted for in a way that's meaningful. And anyway, so I don't know. That was something that really came up, but I think back in August when all that was really happening. And of course, he's got some new issues. The COVID thing. That's funny. Anyway, I won't go there. But yeah, so the second one is Derek Carr. Now you truly see someone's character and true leadership comes to surface when Fitz hits the shan, right? And the last month, the Raiders have really been through it. Obviously the Gruden thing, losing your head coach in the middle of the season, and for the reasons that he had to leave, he was forced out, right? Like, especially when you're the leader of a team and you have the majority of your teammates are African-American and you have all that come out, like that's a very delicate, volatile situation. And I think Derek Carr just handled it with such leadership and grace. He stood in front of it. He didn't overreact. He didn't try to make excuses. He just kind of stood by what he believed in, who he is, and led the team. I think they won 2 or 3 games after that. I think they're on a current losing streak right now as well, which is kind of my poor timing on this podcast. But anyway, I think there's still qualities and leadership that he has. And then especially with the Henry Ruggs situation, how he went to bat for him. This is what we kind of miss. I think this is what I think a lot of young people, millennials, Gen Zers, have felt when it comes to us being led is when one mistake, you're tossed aside, even though we've kind of muddled in that for sure with cancel culture. But there's still a level of, you're tossed aside with one mistake. There's no grace. There's no softness to what just happened. There's a constant, you're already beating yourself up for something. And then someone, an adult figure, a leadership person comes behind you and just does it more, just kind of puts the screws to you as much as you. And Derek Carr kind of stating publicly, like he knows he messed up he has got to wear that the rest of his life, that he took someone's life by making a huge mistake. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine, the pain that he is dealing with and that he's about to go to prison for it. So you just kind of, I think him publicly making that statement is like, he knows he messed up, and I'm just going to stand beside him as the person, not just as my teammate. And I think that's the value of that he's willing for people to be critical of him. He's willing for people to throw him under the bus, as they're throwing someone else under the bus, as they're, putting the screws to Henry Ruggs, even though just what he did was terrible. But I think I just really I'm just grateful to see someone, probably he's close to my age. He's probably in his early 30s. Just somebody that, like, taking that leadership role, taking that mindset of, I care more about the person than my public image. Like, right there in that is such a powerful character trait, leadership quality that should be withheld by any person in leadership that truly wants to lead people. Is, I will value the person more than my public image, and like the importance of that. And I think that's where Derek Carr will be quarterback for the Raiders for a while, or always have a job. And then, as long as he stays healthy, is because he'll have people willing to follow him, and he'll have success after football. I think he won the trust of a lot of his teammates, even if he didn't have it before, by doing that. So anyway, I think that's all I have today. But yeah, thanks for listening. This is the Men Are Forward podcast. Go on menarforge.com, subscribe to the email list, and get the full show notes each and every week. And also go on YouTube, subscribe, as well as like and follow on Spotify. And please rate and review on Men Are Forge podcast on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, that really helps me out. And thanks for listening.